Hi everyone, my name is Breanne and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 18 months old. So a lot of people tell me, you don't look like you're diabetic. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know diabetes had a certain look. So this is a visual of what diabetes looks like for 1 month living with type 1 diabetes. So World Diabetes Day, Federick Banting, he is the one that discovered insulin back in 1921. So insulin has really only been around for 100 years. And before insulin was invented, diabetes was a death sentence. So yeah, our bodies need insulin to live. So back in the day, what they would do is put people on a starvation diet, where people were literally starving to death. And it's so crazy to think about that because really that wasn't that long ago. And that's a little over 100 years because me filming this video in 2022, like it's what, 101 years? Like, yeah, I am so thankful for all the technology we have nowadays. The first insulin pump was actually the size of a microwave, where now it's literally in my pocket. And the insulin pump I have is a T-Slim. So I can't even imagine carrying around an insulin pump the size of a microwave. Also, back in the day, what they used to do is take a sample of urine and see if ants would go near it based on the sugar content, which I think that's wild. So I got the insulin pump when I was in 4th grade. And before that, I would have to take needles 6 times a day. Again, that was something my mom and dad did. I remember as a little girl running away from the needles. I remember like my dad holding me down, my mom having to give me the needle. So shout out to all the parents who are taking care of a child with diabetes, because I can't even imagine how hard that could be for you. No, I did not cause diabetes based on my lifestyle because I eat too much sweets or I don't exercise enough, anything like that. Again, my pancreas does not work, where I have something called an autoimmune disease where my body attacked the pancreas and my pancreas no longer produces insulin. So a lot of diabetics out here, we're playing the role of a pancreas. So I lived with diabetes for 94% of my life, and it's so crazy to think about how I can't tell you how many times I wish I wasn't diabetic, but the crazy thing is, I don't even know life without diabetes. I can't imagine a life where I don't have to play the role of my pancreas, where a lot of the time, like diabetes, at least for me, I'm someone who wants to take a lot of control, which is also a big part, in my opinion, of being diabetic, because I have to control, you know, being sure that I'm giving myself enough insulin after I eat a meal, being sure I give myself insulin after a meal, and remembering all these different things. I have to check my blood sugar 6 times a day, and what I had to do is use something called a pricker, where you would actually put your blood onto a test strip and it would read your blood sugar. Where now, thankfully, they have something called a Dexcom, and it's a continuous glucose monitor, and it tests your blood sugar every 5 minutes. So something like that, I have to change my site every 10 days. When it comes to diabetes, it definitely takes a mental toll on people, at least for me. And again, I'm speaking based on my experience. There's always that fear of the complications and, you know, not being able to live, you know, that normal life, where for me, that's why I do my best, again, to take control of my diabetes. And it's not always easy. Some days you could be doing everything right, and then all of a sudden you get a blood sugar spike. Just the other day, I wake up and my blood sugar was high because my insulin pump fell off in the middle of the night, where my site just ripped out and I wasn't getting insulin. And then my phone never notified me that I wasn't getting insulin. So yeah, like a lot of that kind of stuff is scary. Since I was diagnosed at a young age, no, I am not used to diabetes. I don't think anyone ever could get used to diabetes. Nobody is used to giving themselves needles, anything like that. I'm actually a big baby when it comes to needles. I actually hate getting blood work done, my flu shot, all that kind of stuff, because again, I'm such a big baby with it, believe it or not. So no, I'm not used to giving myself needles. As diabetics, we don't have a choice. Like, we don't have a choice to give ourselves needles. We don't have a choice to inject insulin into our bodies. Like, this is just what we have to do in order to manage our diabetes. I think it's great that we have Diabetes Awareness Month, because it really gives an opportunity for people to really educate themselves about diabetes. And I totally get it, where a lot of people, you're not gonna really have much of an interest with diabetes unless you have diabetes or know somebody who has diabetes. However, the statistics are rising where more and more people are becoming diagnosed with diabetes. And I think it's so important to really know those warning signs of diabetes. Also, diabetes takes a huge role, not only physically, mentally, but also financially as well, where diabetes supplies are not cheap. When it comes to also managing diabetes, all the doctor visits and everything you have to do in order to take care of it. Every time you hear diabetes, you hear high risk, chronic illness, and again, it is scary. And I wish it was that easy where all I had to do was take insulin and then also drink juice, where again, there's so much more when it comes to taking control. The hard part with diabetes is having to cancel plans with people and missing social events because your blood sugar's high, or maybe had really rough blood sugars the day before and you're really not feeling well the next day. Again, you know, there definitely is a recovery process. So anybody out there who says diabetes is easy, I don't believe you. I never met anybody who told me taking care of their diabetes is easy. So what I would recommend to people, if you have a loved one, friend, or family member who has diabetes, definitely have some grace with them. Again, it's not as easy as don't eat that, don't do this. There's so much more when it comes to disease, and I think having support is so vital when it comes to it. So the cause of type 1 diabetes is still unknown, and I'm hoping in my lifetime that there is a cure. So yeah, so today is World Diabetes Day, and again, my goal on my YouTube channel is just to educate everyone, and then also for other people who are type 1 diabetic, it's just another platform where it can let you know that, hey, like, you're not alone and this is a community and we're all here to help one another. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing below, clicking that like button, and thank you all for watching.